to Let's Talk Real Estate Investing. In this podcast, I bring you insights, experiences, and lessons from real estate investing professionals at all stages of their journey, along with industry experts who provide essential services to you to help you to succeed. Our goal is to empower you with the knowledge and strategies needed to build a personalized real estate investing plan that aligns with your unique goals. If you enjoyed this episode, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. It helps me to continue to share valuable content with you. My name is Debbie Balfour, and I'm a real estate investing professional and a real estate investing success coach. I help IT professionals build true financial security by unlocking 60 to 100K in additional income within 12 months through my personalized investor strategy framework. Real estate investing isn't a one-size-fits-all. Your strategy should be unique as you are. My special guest today is Billie Aadmi. Billie is a real estate investor. She is also an international speaker, best-selling author, as well as CEO and founder of Go Mindset Inc. and co-founder of Amplify Impact Academy. On a personal side, she is a mom of 2 wonderful kids and a fur baby. She's passionate about purpose-driven international real estate and is dedicated to cultivating a prosperous mindset in others through transformational tools such as NLP, timeline therapy, hypnotherapy, and NLP results coaching. Billie used REI to achieve financial freedom before the age of 49. We all want to do that as early as possible. And now she's dedicating herself to helping others achieve the same through the power of mindset. Billie emanates a gentle yet powerful energy to hold space to empower individuals to unlock their full potential in the realm of real estate investing. She's transitioning from 2 decades of policing into her new mission of uplifting and up-leveling mindsets for lifelong success. Billie, over to you now to introduce and give us a little bit more about you. Tell us about your journey. Before we go into your journey in real estate, tell us something personal about yourself that very few people know.
Well, thank you, first of all, Debbie, for having me. I'm super excited. I love talking real estate. I love talking anything mindset as well. And this is kind of something that a lot of people I don't share with my real estate investing world, was that I owned 5 properties at one point and never considered myself a real estate investor. That's how closed mindset I was. That's how a limited mindset I was. To me and my culture, we grow up thinking, women are not supposed to be successful entrepreneurs. We're just supposed to be moms and, wives. And, I just thought I was being a good mom. I thought, okay, I made a good decision. Some people say, oh, you got lucky. I'm like, no, now I know I just made a good decision. There's no such thing as luck. And, I sold my 1 condo that I was living in during the height of the market back in 2000. When was that? 2015, 2016. And, I just bought a bunch of pre-sales back when that was a good thing. Not such a good thing anymore. And I bought a bunch of pre-sales just like down the street from where I used to take my dogs for a walk. And there was nothing down there before. So I was, emotionally connected to the area. And it was just one of the best decisions I think I ever made for my life, because once I did some mindset work, I realized, oh my gosh, I'm 10 steps ahead of majority of the people, because now I have all this equity and I have all this, I wouldn't even say knowledge. However, I had experience how to, be a landlord, how to, get mortgages, how to do all this kind of stuff as like an investor, not as like a primary residence, as your own home. And so I was like, oh, I'm actually a couple steps ahead of a lot of people. And that's what really propelled me into becoming financially free within 6 months of actually doing my mindset shift and really just realizing I was sitting on financial freedom and had no idea.
You had that foundation. So many people, though, do invest in real estate like they invest in stocks. And it's kind of something on the side, and they don't think about it as a business.
No.
So you're not alone in that.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So, you know, today we're going to you're probably going to intermingle a bit of real estate investing in, what we're going to talk about. But we're really talking about mindset today. So, why does mindset matter?
Without the proper mindset, you will never get to your highest potential, period, hands down. And what I mean by mindset is not just, it's more than just what people think of mindset, like I have to think a certain way. It's about being a certain way and embodying it. Because a lot of the time when people think about mindset, they think, okay, I'm just going to, do something this way. It's a doing instead of a being. Too much into the doing, then we're in our conscious mind. When we can access the unconscious, which is literally the 90% of your mind, and I'll give you I use lots of analogies because this is how it computes in my head. If remember when you first started learning how to drive a car,
Yeah.
and it was like, oh my gosh, I got to like shoulder check and all these things, and like it was not an unconscious thing. You had to really think about it, right? Thinking meaning conscious mind. So once you get to the point and you keep doing it and you keep practicing it, now like you can literally, drive with one hand, listen to the phone, listen to talk to your friend, listen to a podcast, and you don't realize you actually drove yourself home.
Yeah. Sometimes I do that. I go for, miles, and then
Yeah.
I'm like, how did I get here?
It's because your unconscious mind is driving your car.
Yeah.
Right? We don't realize how much our unconscious mind is driving our world. We are literally in trance 95% of the day. And what I mean by trance is that we're in our unconscious mind. We're not thinking about what we're doing.
Yes.
Right? So many times, like you get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you do all these things. It's just the trance that you're in. That's my morning trance, what I'm going to do. And then I go and make my coffee. That's my, my coffee trance, as I call it. And so we're in this trance. And so we want to train that mindset so that the trance that you're in is in the success trance. It's in the abundance trance. It's in the solution trance, not all the crappy stuff over here. Because that takes away from us being able to flow and do what we're meant to do. Because everybody on the planet has a gift, they have skills, they have wisdom that they just don't realize is there because their thinking mind is too chattery. Right. And this is what one of the modalities I teach is called timeline therapy. It helps lower the chatter because we figure out what are your limiting beliefs that are stopping you from you moving ahead. And I'll give you an example, a personal example. I alluded to growing up as in a traditional East Indian family. I had two brothers. I was always told, like, you can't go out, you can't do this, you can't. I was told all these things I can't do. And so the programming that got put into my mind as a child, and I want to pre-frame this by saying I don't knock my parents or family. They just were doing the best they could, right? And
Yes.
I'm first generation born Canadian. So I get what they
had those,
They're
false
all programming.
beliefs that were
Exactly.
programmed into them from their parents and from their culture too.
Their programming was girls stay home, they cook and clean, and the boys can do whatever they want,
To
right?
them, it was a truth.
Exactly. However, as a child, I got all this programming in that, for one, I'm not good enough because I'm a girl. For one, I'm not powerful because I'm a girl. For one, I'm not good enough because I'm a girl. I'm not lovable because I'm a girl. So I got all these core wounds of these limiting beliefs put into my unconscious mind. Unconscious, right? Not conscious, because as a child, we're all unconscious. So now as I look back after I've done all this work and I've released all those limiting beliefs through the timeline therapy, now I'm like, oh, no wonder I was sabotaging myself unconsciously. We don't consciously sabotage ourselves, right? It's happening at an unconscious level. And it was because every time I got to the point of being successful, that program went, Billy, you're not supposed to be successful. You're not supposed to be smart. You're not supposed to be an entrepreneur. And I would self-sabotage or something in the universe, because again, the law of attraction.
Bring you back to there.
Bring me back to the I call it victim island. Would always take me back to victim island. And then it would be the whole, okay, well, I guess it just wasn't meant to be. Now that I'm past that, now everything that happens for me, I know is happening for me, not to me. So even when things go wrong, and as you know, in real estate, so many things can go wrong.
Yep.
I mean,
be ready for it.
The appraisal, like there's so many things that could go wrong. If you let it get you stuck in victim island, it stops you from moving forward.
Yes.
So this is the shift of what we say. It's more than mindset. It's like heart set. It's soul set. It's like, there's all four bodies, right? There's not just the one mental body that we're. So if we can get all of those in alignment, then nothing phases us. It doesn't it doesn't knock us over. So we stay over here in what we call Solution City, because Solution City is like where the solutions are. That's what we call it. That's where you're in your power. And so you don't have to get stuck when something happens. You just ask yourself, what am I supposed to learn here? You know, we say there's no such thing as failure. It's all feedback. What
Mhm.
feedback am I getting that this is not working? And everything is a blessing in disguise and everything happens for a reason. That's the difference of having the right mindset as opposed to doing the right mindset. Because
Yes.
it takes more effort when you're using just your conscious mind, because that's willpower, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like
Willpower,
dieting.
yeah, it's not
Yeah.
a diet. This is a lifestyle.
Yes.
Have to use your willpower. That eventually will run out unless
Yep.
you're really, really strong. And some people
Hmm.
are. And I just, I have an easy button on my desk for a reason because the amount of times I've heard someone say that when they learn about NLP and timeline therapy, they're like, oh my gosh, it's really that easy. I'm like, yeah, it's
Mm.
meant to be easy. And I always say this, if life is hard for you, you're just doing it wrong. Life
Yep.
is not supposed to be hard. We're not supposed to be struggling. We're not supposed to be in fear and anxiety and stress. That is all programming that has been put in by media, our family, school, all the things.
Mm.
And now we have to deprogram at the unconscious level because that's where it was put in.
Yep.
We can't deprogram or rewire our brains at the conscious level because, again, that's using willpower because the neurology is still the same.
Yeah.
That all makes sense. Well, it was a very long-winded answer.
Yeah, definitely. We
Yeah,
need to reprogram that subconscious, and then the subconscious then can act in the way we need it to
exactly.
act
And that's why it's
instead of
called
making ourselves act, because
exactly.
that doesn't change anything.
Yeah, that's why it's
Mhm.
called neuro-linguistic programming. We program the language of the mind, which is the neural at the neurological level, to
Yeah.
get our desired results. That's literally what the definition of NLP is.
Yeah.
Reading the language of the mind. So why not use the 90% of our mind that is running the majority of our life to help us move forward in success as opposed to always keeping us.
Yeah, definitely. I can see that. And I can see patterns in my own life where I'll move forward and then I fall back. I move forward and I fall back. I always end up in the same place,
Yeah.
right? So,
There's some limiting.
yeah, something that's
Yeah.
limiting me there that brings me back to like the
Yeah.
same amount of revenue, like those kind of things.
That's why we call this a breakthrough, is we're breaking through
The
that next
ceiling,
level
yeah,
of evolution.
creating a new ceiling.
Think of it
Yeah.
like, we're always updating our cell phones. We're always are updating our cell phones, our laptop, our computer. The first thing the update does is remove the viruses and the bugs. Because if the viruses and the bugs are there, and that's what we call the limiting beliefs and the unresolved emotions,
Yeah.
it's always going to come back and bite you, right? So that's why we use timeline therapies to clear the past. We release the top 7 negative emotions, which
Yeah.
are anger, sadness, fear, hurt, guilt, rage, and shame.
Mm.
And from there, we release the top 2 to 3 limiting beliefs. So once we remove the viruses and the bugs, now we figure out, okay, what apps are running, right? What programs and strategies are running that are no
Right.
longer serving me, that are keeping me stuck or keeping me stuck at that level, that
Mhm.
ceiling. Then we rewire those. That's the neurological
Well,
level.
delete those apps
Exactly. Delete those apps because they're
or
just killing the
reconfigure
pattern,
them.
right? And because if we don't update it,
Yeah.
that software can only get us to a certain level.
Yes.
So if we update it now, we can be operating at like what's the terminology? Like more RAM. We got more RAM up here,
Yes.
right? The processing speed is quicker, and therefore now we can get to the next level.
Yeah.
And then we use
Definitely.
therapy for the future, so future goal setting, as opposed to let's deal with the past. We use
Mhm.
timeline therapy for that because it only takes one session.
Yeah. So, like for myself, I think, I don't know if I have any of this because I don't have any trauma in my life. I've got good parents. They've always like open, say, Debbie, you can do whatever you want. You can try whatever you want. We support you. But there's culture or environment. There's like, as a woman, like there are things that are stopping me that I'm not, like you said, conscious of, that I need to, because I don't know, like I
Yep.
don't know
And
what I don't.
you hit the nail on the head, Debbie, is that you're not aware of it.
Yeah.
You know what? I love what you said there that, I don't think I have trauma. Every
Mhm.
single person on the planet has trauma, and it may not be from this lifetime. It could be past life. It could be
Mhm.
passed down to generationally. The trauma, and when people think of trauma, they think of like the big T trauma, like, there was abuse or, some type
Yes, yes, exactly.
not everybody has that. However, there are It could be a simple thing of, a teacher said something to you once, and now all of a sudden you felt like you weren't good enough, right?
Mhm.
Or a coach said something to you. And there's something that some program got put in that you can only get to this level.
Yes.
If it wasn't there, you would be at your highest success level.
Yes. So
And you would
there's definitely something, because
absolutely.
I am not where I, I really want to be. Something is keeping me here.
Yeah. And that's why I tell people, I'm like, if you're not happy, healthy, wealthy, there's something blocking you. And that's like the term, our tagline for our Quantum Life Mastery School is, if you're not the happy, healthy, wealthy, there's something blocking you from getting there. That's what life is meant to be, is meant to be
Mhm.
happy, healthy, wealthy. And we're meant here to live a purpose and a mission. And now I know this is mine because after being a police officer for 20 years, I always joke. I'm like, if someone told me like, hey, Billy, you're going to be teaching people about the unconscious mind, I would have said, you probably should go get some help because you're crazy. Like, I don't know anything
It's
about
too
the.
woo-woo.
It is exactly. I was like, I'm not woo woo. And now here I am. I'm doing my master's or my doctorate in metaphysical science because I'm
Yeah.
so intrigued by how the power of the higher dimensions can really show up here.
Yes.
Like we think like this is reality. Actually, the reality is up in the quantum field, right? That's
Hmm.
where it comes down.
Yep.
It just shows up here in reality. And so I tell people that's why the easy button is the unconscious mind, because that's where you want to shift your life, not here. This is the hard way to do it because
Yeah.
it's dense here, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So what is the REI mindset?
So the REI mindset is specifically knowing that no matter what happens, you're going to do it, right? And that you are meant to be, again, happy, healthy, wealthy. And really, you could be sitting on financial freedom and not know it, just like I was. So I literally moved uh, one of my properties into a different strategy, and I went from making $200 cash flow a month to 5 figures cash flow a month. That's the difference. And had I not had my REI mindset, because the REI mindset is not what is this going to cost me? Because that's what a lot of people say. Well, I don't want to take this course. It's going to cost me $16,000 or $20,000. It's about what is it going to earn me, right? We're always thinking ROI. So same thing,
Yes.
REI is like an ROI mindset. What's your return on investment? And the problem is majority of people are not putting that investment in themselves. They will spend $50,000, $60,000 taking all these real estate courses, and great for them. They need that information. However, I use the analogy of, if we were to build a house, everyone's like, okay, let's build a good foundation first. That's the mindset. Not really. First, we have to remediate the soil, because what if there's an oil tank under there?
Yes, exactly. Yeah.
If there's an oil tank and you build this big, beautiful house, guess what? You have to tear it down. And that's what the mindset training piece is. First, let's get those limiting beliefs, all those things out, make sure the soil is healthy. So now when you start building the foundation and the bigger and the
It's good.
floors, now it'll be solid, right? Because people, they don't see the value yet in doing the inner work.
Yes.
Because again, just like you said, well, I don't have any trauma. I think
Yeah.
it's and that's the big disconnect is like, of course you don't know it. Because if you knew it, you'd fix it.
You do something about it. Yeah.
Right? Like, if you don't know something about multifamily, you need to go take a course and learn on it. If you
Hmm.
know you don't know how your mind works, you need to go take a course on it. You need to learn. And that's why we opened the academy, was first to just teach people, how does your mind even work?
Hmm.
Once you know how it works, now you can go in and learn how to shift it and make it work for you as opposed to against you.
A few years ago I took a program with when Bob Proctor was still alive. The program's still running, called Thinking into Results. And within 2 months of that program, of having being in that program, maybe it was even a month, I started having all these opportunities coming to me.
Yeah.
It was like the weirdest thing.
See, so it's so funny. People think, what's so weird all of a sudden? I'm like, no, 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 that's how it's supposed to be. It's just we're so not used to it, and we think getting something good in our life means we have to work really hard.
Yeah.
False. It's false. And that's the programming that says you have to work really hard in order to be successful. Not to be mistaken for effort, right? You
Yes.
put effort into your life. However, it doesn't have to be hard work. And
Mhm.
the more you put the effort into yourself and learning about who am I, who's Billy? Before society told me who I am, before my family told me who I am,
Yes.
this person, once you get in touch with, that's why we call it alignment, that true alignment of who I think I am And now I'm actually being that person, not just thinking I'm like, oh, I want to think I'm a smart and a successful. I actually am, and I'm embodying that, and it's so true to me. Then
Yeah.
all of a sudden, now the resources, the universe is like, Billy's ready. Let's start bringing her some resources because if we did this before,
You wouldn't see it.
nope.
Yes. You wouldn't see it. You wouldn't recognize it. You wouldn't say no. You wouldn't say yes to it.
Or
Yeah.
they would have had, the chatter of, oh, that's too big to be
That's
true,
too
or that's not
big.
for
That's
me,
I'm
or
not there. Yeah. I can't do
exactly.
this. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's
Yeah.
how quickly, I love that you said it, within a month. It's happened fast. Like my life completely changed within 6 months, right? I started this work in my first course in May in 2023. My life is completely different. And it wasn't, this has to take, 20 years of therapy to get there.
Right.
It can literally happen right away. Literally happen
As
right away.
long as you're open to it.
Yeah. But that's part of having the open growth mindset.
Yes.
The closed mindset, for one, we always think that we're done learning and we're never done learning.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, me personally, I'm spending close to 6 figures of my own money on my own personal growth this year and
Mm-hmm.
my spiritual growth because I know it will repay. The ROI will be exponential.
Yes.
I really put more of my energy into who I am. The universe will repay me because it's a give and receive, right? We have to
Mm-hmm.
learn how to receive. We've kind of forgotten how to receive because we're so busy doing,
Yeah. We feel we have to give, give, give.
doing.
Yes.
Especially
Yeah.
women, especially like, moms. We're so used to doing everything for everybody else that even now, like I used to have a lot of guilt.
Mm-hmm.
We have this one technique called parts integration, where we have parts of ourselves. Like there's a part of me that wants to be this kick-ass businesswoman, and then there's a part of me that wants to be a really good mom. And they were
Mm-hmm.
fighting with each other.
You
I had
didn't
to
think
make
that you thought to be kick-ass thing, you're going to neglect your children.
exactly.
Yeah.
Right. And so when I did the integration, now like all the resources are there and I'm like, oh, I have no guilt around it anymore. In fact, my kids are around me a lot when I'm working now that I work from home, and they love what I do. I teach my kids this stuff so that they have the mindset. They're starting to invest and I'm having those conversations with them. And so it's, we really can have it all, Debbie. And as cliche as that sounds, it really is true. We can have it all. We can be happy, healthy, wealthy,
Mm-hmm.
and enjoy life, and life can be smooth. And I'm a walking testimonial.
Yeah. It's such like that. We learned very young, like you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Programming. That's just
Yep. We're
programming.
told that you can't have it. Like you can only have this little bit. You can't have it all, like you said. Like,
Well,
and
people don't.
that's what that saying is. And I'm
Yeah.
sure every person in the English language, I'm sure there's a different one in different cultures,
Yeah.
different languages. In English, it's like, you can't have your cake and eat it too.
Well, there's a lot of people that have money issues, and there's these deep-seated, rooted beliefs that, money is evil, or money will break apart a family, or money will make me,
And yeah, a rich person is evil.
yeah.
Yeah,
And we don't realize it, right? And that's what we uncover with the timeline therapy is, well, what of these limiting beliefs are there that are blocking you? And once you release it, now like that energy has been released and now it can be put forward. And that's when the universe will bring you some resources.
definitely. So how do we use it to succeed in
Type of
our life?
mindset to
Mhm.
succeed.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, be a lifelong learner,
Okay.
right? Always know that you never, like the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know. As funny as that sounds, the more I learn, the more I realize I don't know.
Yes.
And so we always have to be a student of life. And I always say, like, if you have a coach or a mentor, they should have a coach or a mentor. Because if a coach or a mentor thinks that they are the be all end all, then they have a closed mindset.
Yes.
There's something called perception is projection that if I think I am the know it all, I'm going to project that and not be able to see Debbie's magnificence. And what this mindset does is that it empowers people, doesn't create codependency. So there's so many coaches out there in the world, and God love them, they don't know that they create codependency because the person is then now dependent on them in order for their success. When
Yes.
we are the tour guide and we're allowing them to find
You're
their
teaching them to fish.
exactly, they're finding their own power and their own gifts so that
Yes.
they can move forward. And that's what that's why we created Amplify Impact Academy. So we can amplify impact together. And so we can
Mm-hmm.
all do this at the same time. Now, there's enough, and that's another scarcity mindset thing is that when we feel like we're competing, that's a
Mm.
scarcity mindset because there's more than enough to go around for
Oh,
everybody.
yes, definitely.
And for real estate investors, I know one thing I really say to them is it's a relationship business. And who
Yes.
cares about the numbers, right? Who cares about the numbers? Everybody's got numbers. People will want to invest with you because they know, like, and trust you. And they know that, you know what, Billy cares about who I am. They
Yeah.
don't care about, this deal. They care
Mhm.
about, I want Debbie to be successful, and they find out, they take some time to like, well, Debbie, what's your goals? Or like you said at the beginning, like one size fits all. So maybe my deal's not right for you.
No,
That's what we say with
exactly.
our school. Maybe your school's not the right fit for you. You need to go here. That's why we created Clear the Screen. Some
Hmm.
people just have too much anxiety. They need to clear the anxiety, like put the fire out first.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can start fixing the home. And so when you get to know people and realize that we have connections with people, and that's why, this real estate cruise that we went on last year, I know that you know about it with Mario, the real estate summit at sea, that's exactly what was the intention. Let's get to know each other and not talk about real estate because all these real estate events, so what are you investing in? Oh, okay, and how many doors do you have? Like it's so superficial,
Yes.
people will forget you. And that's why we teach for like when you're going to go out and you're networking and you're talking with people, really get to know the person to have that connection on that unconscious level.
Hmm.
That's why NLP is really powerful for real estate investing because you're communicating with people at an unconscious level and you're speaking their language so that you're tapping into their unconscious. And it's one of those, I don't know why I like you, Debbie, but there's something about you that I just feel really connected to. And I
Hmm.
feel like you know me. And that's going to make the difference between when you have a deal and John Smith has a deal, they're going to go with you.
Yeah. And you start doing that on a conscious level because you care about the person. So your questions, your
Yeah.
everything is about that. And yeah, and for each of us, we're like we say, we're different. We learn differently. We all they're we're different in personalities, but understanding those personalities
Yeah.
is what's
And
important.
then it comes back down to first you got to fix yourself.
Yes, you got to
It
understand
always
yourself.
starts with self. So before you
Yeah.
go out and do all, like do the networking, know what you're offering, right? You got to know your why. And that is, there's a lot of talk about that, but why is not just, oh, I want to have time freedom.
Hmm.
Why do you want time freedom? What will
Hmm.
that give
What's
to
your
you? Well, for
exactly?
me, it'll give me time with my kids. And why is that important? Well, because you know what? My parents never had a lot of time with me because they were so busy working. And so I want to have time with my kids so they don't have that memory that mommy was always busy,
Yes.
right? And then we have that balance. So when you get to know that, then that's when you speak to someone like, hey, Debbie, I know you really want to spend more time with your kids. This deal I have might actually solve that for you. Would you like to learn about it?
Yeah.
Instead of saying, hey, I got 50,
Yeah, exactly.
interest payments, right? Majority of people do out there in the real estate world is like, look at my deal. Look at my deal.
Yes.
Look at my deal.
That's, I say to my clients all the time in all of my lives, it always comes up that when it comes to real estate, it's 80% relationships and 20% about the actual opportunity in
Yep.
there, right? I'm with you. The same thing, like there is a business networking group that I go to,
Mhm.
and we hardly talk about, like, we have this one time that we just kind of go around and do our elevator pitch, but the rest of it, it's like we're becoming like best friends in there, right? We're just like really connecting, getting to
Yeah,
know each other. It's just like a real relation, and that's that know, like, and trust,
totally.
creating that. And then when something comes along, it's like, oh, I know this person really well, like,
Yeah.
or I am actually doing some work with some of the people in there right now
Oh, good.
because of that. But yeah,
That's
it's that relationship stuff is truly important. And
totally. Yeah.
I'm with you with that. So I think I totally believe in this, but like most people, I haven't invested enough in
Mhm.
my mindset.
And the majority of the people don't know the value of it. And that's,
Hmm.
I don't want to say it's hard. One of the challenges that we have in our academy is people don't know what they don't know.
Yes.
I didn't know what I didn't know,
And you
right?
see it as not revenue generating.
Exactly. And they don't realize that that's like, you still got to, like, just like you want to build a house, you still have to pay for the appraisal. You still have to pay for the
Yeah.
inspection. You got to put all that not income producing money into the deal. and I still say deal because we are a deal too, right?
Hmm.
You are your own
We are
big
the
project,
biggest part of the
biggest
agency.
project in the world. So why would you not want to make sure that this is good
Yeah.
before you go and do anything else? And it's not like, some people think of it like a crash diet, right? Like, okay, I'm just going to take this one course. No, this is a lifestyle. And
Right.
that's exactly why we created this it's like a gym membership for your brain, right? Like
Hmm.
we go to the gym for our bodies. We don't go to the gym for here. And so that's why we say come and do a timeline therapy session once a month. And that's why we
Hmm.
created the gym so we can facilitate it for people because, sometimes people just don't do it, right? They say, "Oh yeah, I'm going to do it," and then they don't do it. So when you pay for
Yes.
something, that's why I actually pay for a gym membership.
Accountability. It
It makes me
makes you
go,
accountable.
right?
Yeah.
It
Because
makes
you
me
got
go.
now skin in the game.
Well, we say that until you have your spiritual legs, and what we mean by spiritual legs is that now you know who you are,
Hmm.
and now you can stand on your own 2 feet, knowing confidently, I know who I am, I know what I have to offer to the world. Now I'm going to find out what is the right fit for me when it comes to real estate. Maybe it's
Yes.
not real estate. I'm moving away from real estate. I'm doing more of the day trading.
Hmm.
Because for me, the ROI is better. I don't have to deal with tenants and I don't have to it was a lot less work for me, but that was the right fit for me because I want to work on my academy, my mission.
Yes.
The real estate for me was just a vehicle for me to become financially
And
free.
it was that, and
So,
it gave you that. Yeah, exactly.
yeah. And at the end of the day, real estate, that's what it should be for, is for that financial freedom of passive income. Now
And
you,
then you can do what you're passionate about.
yeah, yeah, right. It's the ultimate dream, right?
Yes, definitely. That's what I was thinking today, like because I've been doing some market research on, for to tweak my program. And it's like when it comes to retirement, like that's what a lot of people are worried about. They're worried about their retirement income and, those kind of things. But I was thinking, what does the word retirement mean? Like to me, I will never retire in
Oh.
a rocking chair kind of thing. I'm never going to be that person that's sitting on the porch in a rocking chair all day,
To me,
right? So, yeah.
retirement means you work because you want to work, not because you have to work. There's a concept called ikigai. It's a Japanese concept that when you find what you do, you'll never stop working. I mean, I don't have to work if I don't want to, except I love doing this work because I've seen the transformations in people. I've seen the transformations in myself with our students, with our clients. They are now living their best life as,
Yeah. And
whether
you're your ideal client.
absolutely. Well, I think everybody needs mindset work. I don't think there's a single person on the planet. However, there's people that, this get more into the spiritual talk about like what you're meant to do here, right? What lessons are you meant to learn? What was your, what did you come down here to earth school for? Some
Yes.
people still need to learn some lessons. And so they're not ready necessarily to get into this level. There is a huge shift now on the planet. Like there's this age of Aquarius that now consciousness is being more talked about. And now
Hmm.
people are realizing, okay, maybe I do need to understand how my mind works. Maybe there is more than just this 3D world that we live in, and that maybe I should learn to tap into the higher, like in the quantum field, right? And there's lots of
Yes.
quantum, people don't understand what quantum means. Quantum just means fifth dimension, and that is where your unconscious mind is.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if you can learn how to tap into that, imagine like it's 90%. Why would you not want to use 90% of your?
That's where all the elites are.
That's why this was like this NLP
Hmm.
there was a book called The Master Key by Charles Hannell that came out, I think, in 1912, and it was hidden. It was hidden by the general public because they knew the power of it.
Yes.
They didn't want it. This was part of this whole Piscean age that happened before that they wanted control, right? There's so
Mhm.
much information out there about this.
Yes.
Want to research
You
that?
just ask ChatGPT.
But it's an exciting time that I now got into this work now. Apparently, I don't know if you know what Akashic records are, but we've opened our Akashic records, which is our soul library. I've been doing
Hmm.
this since 1442, me and my training partner. So it was really cool that we got together again in this lifetime. There is a moment in time now, especially since the pandemic, I feel like was like kind of that reset for the world to be like, take inventory. What don't you like in your life? You don't like your job, you
Yes.
don't like your relationship, you don't like your body, your health. Like, what is it? And now we can shift it.
Hmm.
So it's a very exciting time to learn this work because it is really, really powerful.
Definitely. It makes me excited, Billy. you
It
know,
should.
I love it. I'm a very spiritual person too, so I really believe that these things are possible. I've seen, transformations in my own life. I've seen like things, simple things like manifestations where for instance, in 2021 when we were locked down, I was like, oh, I would really like a vacation property, but I can't have it for 5 years until I have the money to
Yeah.
do it. And then one morning I woke up and going, why can't I have it? Isn't this what I do? And then I started looking, and I had this vision of the view I wanted out of the home. And I found the home like that, but I was a backup offer on it. And my husband's like, but I was already like decorating it in my mind and all these things. And my husband says to my kids, "Oh, mom's going to be so disappointed that she's not going to get this place."
Oh,
That's what right? But I got it.
good.
The offer fell through.
Yeah.
My realtor came and said, "Debbie, we need to lock in right now. Let's do it," kind of thing. And yeah, and
That's
I got it.
amazing. That's amazing. And I love what you said there about manifestation, because that's another really kind of buzzword out there right now that people don't really fully understand. We are never not manifesting, meaning
We
we're always
manifested. We wanted
manifesting.
to be parents
Exactly.
when we were
People
young.
think manifesting is just manifesting the good stuff, and it's not true.
Ooh,
Whatever thought you have, you are manifesting it. And that's why I
yeah.
like I'll say cancel, cancel, like my kids say it now, like cancel, cancel, cancel. Because I always like be careful what you say, because the universe might think you're asking for that. Because it's this whole law of attraction thing, right?
Yeah.
The universe is impersonal. It doesn't it doesn't say, okay, well, if you think you're not good enough, okay, well then if that's what you want, that's
You can
what
have it.
and that's why we say get into this alignment with yourself so that there's not this like, we say the conscious mind is the goal setter, the
Hmm.
unconscious mind is the goal getter. And
Yeah.
so if you're consciously saying, I want a home, I want this, vacation home, or I want to, whatever, make this much money.
Yes.
And then unconsciously, there's that program running in the back saying, well, are you smart enough? Are you good enough? The universe is like, I don't know what you want. Make up
Hmm.
your mind. You saying you want this, now you're saying you're not good enough. So like, what is it that you want? But when you get into that alignment, and that's why we say you get your conscious and your unconscious mind in rapport with each other, working for the same team,
Yes.
that's when your life will completely shift. And that's when will manifest the things in your life when you're like, what? I had no idea. Like my vision board, I last year I got it like within like the first few months, and now this year I got it like, and I say to myself, who's stopping me from getting 6 figures a month? Who in my world is telling me that I can't earn 6 figures a month? It's only me.
Yep.
It's only me. There's nobody around me that's saying that except me.
Yeah, except
And
you.
it's
Yeah.
my thought process. Now I say, like, my goal last year was $20,000 a month. This year it was $50,000 a month. Now, next year, I'm like, why can't I make $100,000 a month?
Yes.
If I can make $50,000 a month, which I did,
Hmm.
I'm like, well, who's stopping me from making 100,000? It's my own thought process that's blocking me and saying, well, I can't do that's like $1 million a year. I can only make $1 million a year. Cancel, 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 right? Yes, I can. Absolutely. Because if I can do this, that means I can do that. However,
Definitely.
there may be some blocks, and that's why we say do your timeline therapy session every month.
Right.
Clear.
Because there's new ones
There's always,
coming.
it's not just this lifetime, it's past lifetimes.
It's like those big rocks. So
Passed down to you generationally.
when you move the big rocks, you still have the small
Yep.
ones there.
Because your unconscious mind remembers every single thing that's ever happened to you. Every single thing from the beginning of time.
Just in filing cabinets.
It is. It is. That's why like I've gone back about 70 something generations now when I've done my timeline therapy cleanup.
Wow.
I've done several of them now, right? So I've been doing it for 2 years. And I love it. And I trust my unconscious mind now. And that's the one thing that's another big challenge that people like, I don't trust my unconscious mind. I don't know what it's capable of. I'm like, and I say to them, well, who ran your body last night when you were sleeping? You trust your unconscious mind when you're sleeping because it's
Sleeping,
running
yeah.
your body
Yep.
live. And so don't you want it to be able to work for you during the day as well?
They
Just
don't
at night.
trust it because it's not programmed properly.
They don't trust it because they don't understand it. And the
Yeah.
programming says when I don't understand something, I should fear it.
Fear. Yep. Definitely.
Or it can't be real,
Hmm.
right? It's just that programming that keeps coming in that, oh, it can't be that easy. It can't
Yeah.
be that easy. If it's that easy, it's too good to be true, right? That's how I used to think. And
Yeah.
that's why, my one trading my trading strategy, normally I would have said, no, that sounds too good to be true. I wouldn't do it. It's too risky, right? And a lot of people do that in real estate as well.
Oh,
That, oh,
yeah.
too risky. Well, no, you still do your due diligence and you do all your things.
Mhm.
However, what's telling you that it's too risky? Do you have hard evidence to
That
say
it's too,
this,
have you done it and know that it's too risky?
right? And so this is where, again,
Yeah.
that is so important that what are you saying to yourself because you are manifesting that. You are saying that you can't be successful, then guess what? You're not going to be successful. Period.
Mhm. I have that negative one, what you're saying to yourself example. I think we talked about it when you were over, when we got together, but it was so it's very deep. I had when the market changed and with all my homes and the interest rates skyrocketed and so I was going into negative cash flow and then the BC government changed the regulations on short-term rentals. I started to panic and I was worried at night, and what I worried about was losing my home because all of these other places were leveraged against my home. And I was like so scared I was going to lose my home. And I did lose it, but not in the way that I thought,
Right?
right? I lost it in the fire.
Hmm. And you see how you manifested that.
Yeah,
Not
it's
on,
like
on
I would have
purpose.
never
You want
like
to
I didn't
destroy
think
it.
I'm gonna lose like fire. I'm gonna lose my house in a fire or something. But I
Yeah.
was worried about losing my home.
This is why we say it's so important to watch your thoughts. And
Yeah.
one of the exercises we give our clients is like anytime you hear yourself say a negative thought, think of a stop sign. It's called a pattern interrupt, and you will stop that neural pathway from firing. And then you shift it, and then there's more things you do after that. Because again, if you're thinking of something, like sometimes, you hear stories of this all the time, like, oh, I just need a break. I just need a break. Oh, I'm so tired. And then the person gets sick or they break
Yes.
up or something, right? And then they end up, well, that's what you said. So you have to be very careful about what you ask for.
Yeah.
But we're always saying be very careful about the words that you're putting out to the universe in your thought process, even when you're just talking to yourself, because it still hears it, right? It's
Mhm.
always dropping, right? And so you have to be very careful because we're always manifesting.
Yeah.
That's what I tell people. I'm like, if you don't like your reality, let's rewind the tape, right? The tape that's playing in your mind. Is it the horror show or is it the love story? So now, if it's the horror show, this is why we created this thing, clear the screen, the anxiety clearing exercise. If it's the horror show, we can clear the screen, put on the love story, right? And I feel you like when there was something, I was involved in a lawsuit and
Hmm.
I had my little cry and I went to Victim Island and I was like, why did
Hmm.
it happen to me? And then I stopped and I said, no, this is not productive. I'm going to go back over here to Solution City and say, what are my options?
Yes.
And then I started taking action to remediate the issue. As
Hmm.
opposed to being stuck in the story of why did this happen to me? That's when, and I'm one of the only investors that got paid back because I took action. And the
Yeah.
universe said, good, Billy's taking action. Let's sort this out for her.
Yeah. And I'm the same. People come to me and say, Debbie, like, and it was soon after the fire and lost my job and that sort of, and they're like, how can you still be smiling? How can you be like this? Like, you're very calm about this. And, it's like, it doesn't mean that, these things didn't happen, but I was like, okay, I can't change the past.
Yep.
But what can I do to move forward, to improve? And staying stuck, worrying, thinking about the fire and all these things wouldn't doesn't change it, doesn't make
Yeah.
my life different, right?
Yeah.
Or better. So I knew I had to move forward and get rid of. I had my month where I was overwhelmed, anxious, etc. And then I just like moved on.
Yeah. And these are the tools that we teach is that if you get stuck there, how quickly can you get back over here?
Yeah.
Life is going to happen to you. And it's that whole saying that life is, 10% what happens to you, 90% of how you react to it. So like, if you have tools to get you back over here, and this is why we're big on community, right? Sometimes you just need a community to be like, you guys, I don't know what to do here. I don't know
Yes.
what the universe is trying to teach me. I'm supposed to learn something here, and I'm having a hard time figuring what that is. Can somebody please help me?
Yes.
Right? And so that's why we're huge on community.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of community there, like when I had my fire, it wasn't my family that helped me right away. it was my real estate investing community, like people
Mhm.
I hadn't met once, people that didn't even meet me, like a friend that she became a good friend of mine through real estate investing. And she was the one that started a GoFundMe. And I was like, oh, no, 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 I don't want charity, that thing. And she says, Debbie, this is not charity. This is you, it's to get you back on your feet,
Yeah.
right? You're always giving. Here's a chance. Give people. I was like, no, no, no. And she says, give people the opportunity to help you and feel that satisfaction.
We have such a hard time receiving, isn't it?
I
And
didn't
now
want
that's
it
what
at all.
we have to change, is that it's part of it, right?
Yeah,
Just
but
like we're
I
giving, the other
needed it.
person is receiving, it's like we need to receive as
Yeah.
well. And
And
so
it was
the
funny. It wasn't my family. Like my mom and my brother, I'm not counting them, but the rest of my family, no one helped. None of them helped.
yeah. Yep. That was a big wake up call for me too, that, and part of it is just to show you that you can do things on your
Hmm.
own. And that, we don't have these security blankets that a lot of the time we're
We think we need. Yeah,
exactly.
definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, this is awesome. Wait, I could speak forever with this, and we're no one. People will probably get bored with the session if we do.
Okay,
Thank you
bye-bye.
so much for being here. Thank you for this discussion. Thank you for sharing this, these insights, and I hope that this really inspires a lot of other people who are listening to this, that to take action and move forward, even in a small way. Work on yourself first, because like we said, the investment real estate is 80% relationships and 20% of the opportunity. Then the relationship is you.
Exactly.
That's 80%.
Be in a
That,
relationship. You have to be pretty good with yourself first before you can be good with other people. And that's the other piece of it, is you have to learn how to love yourself before you can love
yeah,
others, right?
you can love others, definitely. Thank you so much. Do you have a giveaway, a free giveaway for our audience?
Yes, we have a self-love, self-hypnosis, but like toolkit, a playbook. And so I'll give you the link, and it's basically just something that you listen to every night, and is learning how to love yourself. Because really that's where it starts. And so it's a hypnosis track. It's really beautiful. It's learning about letting go of all the things that don't serve you any longer. So I can definitely give you the link for
That's
that.
wonderful. We'll put it into the show notes. We'll pop it onto this, edit it onto the screen also, of how they can go ahead and get that. Thank you so much, Billy. Have a wonderful day.
Thank
Really
you for having
appreciate
me.
your time.
Yes, invest in yourself.
Yeah,
ROI.
invest first in
Yes.
yourself.